Okay, podcasting equipment. Essential and inessential, but nice to have. So we're going to start with the essential equipment. You need, of course, a computer. Any computer that can connect to the internet, broadband, and run either whatever application you're using for audio, plus whatever application you're using in order to connect to people on the internet, whether it's Google Hangouts or Skype or whatever it is you prefer to use. There's quite a number of them available these days. Some charge you, some are free. Okay, the computer, obviously. And broadband internet connection, I like to go straight to Ethernet because I don't have to worry about the fact that my Wi-Fi, in short ranges it's quite reliable, but across the house it's not that reliable. So I have an Ethernet cable going straight from my MacBook Air here through a little adapter because it doesn't have an Ethernet port. Adapter's easily obtained, and then back to the router. That's one essential piece of equipment. Here's another essential piece of equipment, a microphone. Now this is a fancier microphone than you really need. I've got one here. This is the ATR 2100. This is sort of the basic setup here. You've got a desk stand, since you don't want to hold the microphone in your hand the whole time you're talking. A pop filter. These are very inexpensive. You can get this pop filter plus a shock mount for a few bucks. This is actually called a shock mount. It's got little rubber bands in it that if somebody bumps the table, the microphone is somewhat isolated from those vibrations. So you don't get this big boom sound. This one has an XLR cable connected to it, but the ATR 2100 has the wonderful versatility of also using a direct USB connection into your computer. So this is essential. This is essential. This is essential. And finally, a piece of essential equipment is a pair of headphones. Now, again, a bit fancier pair of headphones than you absolutely need. Cheap pair that you use when you go out walking or running is fine. You just have to be able to hear clearly through them. I got some nice ones because I like to also listen to music while I'm working down here. Now this microphone, as I mentioned, is a fancier one. That's a Shure SM7B. It is for the money the best vocal mic you can buy. It is, and I got mine even cheaper than. I got a very, very slightly used one, almost not used at all, on eBay for a very good price. This is connected to a swing arm. Again, not an essential piece of equipment, but very nice to have because it allows you to move the mic out of your way easily, and you can move it without making any noise. So it's nice. This is an XLR cable coming out of it. Now, this kind of mic, you can't get USB directly, but that's okay because it's not that hard to get a USB. Get audio into USB. It's not that hard. This swing arm is connected directly to my table. Now here's a good piece of equipment. I think probably should call this essential. A nice heavy table. Okay. Now this is, let's go over here. This is an inessential piece of equipment, but I like it. And this piece here, this is called a preamp. It's a 2-channel preamp. It's a tube preamp. Not terribly expensive. I got this, again, on eBay for about $250. Just above it, you see a power strip. Now, everyone should be using some kind of power conditioner. You can get these inexpensively, just almost anywhere. This one is a rack-mounted one, made by Furman. It's a good one. Has a lot of plugs in the back. Has room for wall warts, which are the bane of modern existence. And then under here I have basically unused space. I'm going to add some stuff later. This is just a piece of metal that covers the blank space, just mostly for aesthetics. Again, not essential. The rack itself, this is a carpeted rack, which I actually don't recommend using in a basement because the moisture is not kind to it. The microphone signals go into the preamp and come out and go into here. This is a mixer. I'm not really using it so much as a mixer anymore. I use it mainly just as a USB interface for my two mics. So again, not an essential piece of equipment unless you have more than one microphone. If you have, and you can actually get two microphones into USB without a mixer. In fact, a mixer may even make it more complicated. So a lot of this stuff you see here, these controls and jacks and switches, I don't use much. I might use them if I had lots of people over to do a roundtable physically present, but we don't do that much anymore. We do virtual roundtables with people all over the world. So that's where we stand on that. And now up here, you'll see sound absorbing foam. And down here, some puzzle mat, which is inexpensive, that I used also absorbs sound better, much better than a concrete floor. And up here, I've got a ceiling that does a pretty nice job of baffling echoes, actually. The ceiling joists do a pretty good job. I don't really feel a need to add much behind me because I don't get a lot of room acoustics in my recording. That's another advantage of having a dynamic microphone. And the ATR 2100 is also a dynamic microphone. So those are some things that you can use. And now I think I'm going to cut this off and we'll talk more about some of the details of operations later.